Welcome everyone to the 248th weekly MLP Drawing School Red stream. Today we got a small horde of people joining us on December 1st. It's 6:05 or something. No one cares. Let's just start off with the breadiest of us all, CPC.
Hi, I'm hungry. It's not my fault to keep the clock kept going when my bread is getting colder. I can't wait to eat it later.
That's fair. That's fair.
It is true. Directly above her we got Ellie.
Oh, hi. Hello. It's me. Hi.
Down beneath all of us, we got P-1.
Hello, what up? Welcome to the stream.
And then Zai is cheating by adding an extra element on their name. I don't know how to.
Still my name. I'm just Fluffy Zai Heart.
Are you also eating?
Yep.
Enjoy.
This is an eating stream today.
Snack stream.
Eating is
But
banned
that's
in
snacks with
Australia.
art.
Ali,
Okay.
LP, we talked about this. Why didn't you bring any food?
Because I ate before the stream.
I have a water bottle. I could obnoxiously slurp it or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Work.
I am gonna mute the stream and gonna go elsewhere.
Zom, of course, our gracious leader here, wants to kick us all out. He's done. He's done. It's done.
We're done. Congratulations.
Our very respected leader. We always follow instructions of.
we could not hit 250.
Earlier he told me to eat if I was hungry, so that's what I'm doing. I was hungry and now I'm eating.
She's got you there,
wrong. No, yeah. Damn. I guess I lose this round.
It's okay. Bread's almost over. I just have a little corner. But then I have water still, so I can go with Ali's technique.
Slurp.
Slurp. Pixie went muted.
I'm always gonna mute and unmute because yeah.
Because in the background, he's currently fighting a kangaroo riding a spider that is using a snake as a whip. So he doesn't want to disrupt the chat.
Yep, 100%. That's exactly what's going on.
Rough life, man. Rough life.
Let's do this critique thing. As always, if you got any art, please fire it towards our faces at high velocity. We'll do our best to intercept it, Fabio style. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. And I believe Ali Claw and CPC are still taking commissions.
Hell yeah.
Kinda. It's almost opening again. I just started sketching the last one.
CPC accepts bread as commissions, too.
I accept wishlist commissions. I can add some bread there. I can also draw commissions that involve bread. I don't have any rules against that.
You should put a bread pillow so people can just buy you bread.
As long as the bread doesn't have any bits, that's fine.
Yeah. A bread pillow is a great choice because that way, if you are chewing on your pillow at night, you have an excuse, right? You're just hungry for the bread. Yep.
Wait, does me drinking show up on stream? Oh no, I was just drinking normally. This is on purpose. Until now I was kind of watching the green to try not to be too loud.
It's
Until
perfect.
then I started joking about it and then I
gave
up. But now I didn't realize I was just drinking.
MLG gamer dudes, because I know I'm just gonna link you the start of this video. I apologize. If somehow you've managed to hold on for the 5.5 minutes this has been going on for, well done. We'll get to your critique right now.
You're counting. Oh yeah, because you have OBS on. I understand. I know.
Maybe they didn't survive.
With MLG, or are we starting with?
What's MLG? Where is it?
Embroider's not in the chat right now, so they're just with the group.
Embroider,
maybe they didn't survive and they had to be resurrected and become a zombie like our glorious leader zombie.
Right.
Does this mean we have two greatest leaders, or it's just still Zom?
Glorious leader Zom.
Do we just follow the
We're always ruled by
closest
every zombie that
zombie?
comes
What
into the
what is
room, no
happening?
matter what.
I don't know
Every
what's
zombie is in
happening.
charge in a council sort of way.
I don't.
It's the lowest common
Who's
denominator.
closer?
So let's do the picture. MLG Gamers Dude submitted
Zomzo.
this one.
Australia is further
Oh my
away.
god. Oh my god, CPC.
Calm
I don't
yourself.
know. I'm in Europe. I'm fine.
We
Everything's
got
fine.
Arctic
I'm
critique.
very focused.
I
Focused.
don't believe. Okay, MLG Gamers Dudes. Apologies. Your title is back after 3 months. Have Undara. I think it's the horse's name.
Undara.
Andre?
Oh, hey, this is Solder Point
Yeah.
from chat.
Yeah, they go by different names in different places, I believe.
Confusing. False identity.
Oh, does have some good braids.
They do. They got some
Mhm.
good braids.
Gorgeous. I do have a question about horses with that long of hair. How do they keep it clean?
It's just
Magic.
dusty all the time.
Magic. Magic.
Just trailing on the floor.
Also,
Yeah,
I gotta
just clean
say,
the floor as you go. You never have to clean your house. Perfect.
not
Also-
only is it good braids, it also like it's so long that you got like the floor bend going. So like yes, some people just make it go right past the hooves, but
Also, if you're doing that, the hooves should also be following the same logic of the of touching the floor.
mhm.
So you should extend them a little bit.
Also, art's good. Draw it on good paper.
Totally.
I mean, if you're just in class and you just
Or
Yeah,
so,
and it's just a way of distracting yourself, and I understand.
but if it's the excuse of this is all I can grab, blank paper is actually cheaper than lined paper. Pro tip.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But if you just feel like drawing on line paper, it's all good. Don't worry.
It's also
You're
true.
drawing. That's the important thing.
You could.
Yeah.
I hear there's this holiday coming up where things are bestowed upon people. Maybe ask for like a nice 50
everything's
pound
good. If this is
notebook.
how, this is the way you do art, and you just do it on line paper because that's what works for you.
50,
That's all.
50 pound is in
The paperweight.
the weight of the
The
paper.
paperweight.
Yeah.
Not the price.
Yeah,
By
sorry.
the most expensive gold-plated sketchbook you can find.
You buy a tablet,
I want,
take out your Sharpie.
I want some expensive sketchbook. Oh, I want that box. I showed Ali on the stream. I want it so bad, but it's so expensive. I can't afford it.
Oh,
Dude,
Should I go on that tangent? I can go on a tangent if you want. I can explain you what the box I showed Ali is.
Well, let's first take care of this
Also,
drawing,
that
and then
website has so many boxes and they are expensive, but they're all so good. I want them all. Okay,
link them,
I'm
link
focused.
them.
You can link
All
them
right.
to me.
So this picture is really super good. With the line, this line around the face specifically, you can usually add a little bit of like a separate bump there for the chin. That usually is an interesting way to go about it. And when you have this jawline sort of going back, it's usually a good idea to sort of have it end and have this bit of a gap here, just because it helps the face and the neck both feel connected together. At the top of these front hooves, I like to have it like just pull out a little bit, just because that sort of indicates that there's like a bit of a shoulder here. But that's a pretty small thing. Everything else looks pretty decent. Pretty good. Awesome job. I like to, with this like main section of the body, I like to have this bit of a shape where it's like almost like an airplane wing or something like that, where you have like it a bit bigger here, goes into something a bit smaller here, and it just has like that bit of a balance to it, where this side has the thigh which sort of balances out the front and the back and stuff. But yeah, I don't have too much more to add. With the wing, if you want to, what you can do is you can, just for a simple thing, you can have it sort of be close to what you've got right now, but have a little bit of a gap here when you're looking at it from this sort of an angle. and that sort of just lets it be a little bit connected to the body. You can have like a little bit of extra thing there to sort of indicate the big shoulder going up here. And then a little bit of like a wing poking through around the back here or something like that. But yeah, good drawing, good horse. Anyone else have stuff to mention?
So I was in the little bit of time I wasn't distracted. Uh, I sketched a bit over your muzzle, so I just give it a bit more shape. And for that, I used. So you could use. I have a bit of a simplified method, but it's basically just a box. Then you expand your box in the direction you want to make your muzzle, and then you just round off the shapes. And if you saw me sketch, I just start with the shape already. But if you're having trouble with that, you can do a box, a guide for a guide. And then other than that, so this necklace isn't very accurate compared to what Pixie sketched, but compared to your body, I think the middle line of the neck would be here. So you'd want to center the necklace on that. So your necklace is over here, and I think it should be more over here. And that's it.
Yeah. The necklaces and that sort of stuff are always good because they can show like twists of the body and all that kind of thing.
It's like with your hair here, you give a lot of shape to the head, but then the necklace can help you make the neck look a bit less flat. Just find where the center of the neck is, and then align the necklace to that.
All right. Shall we move on to our next one?
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I'd say like thanks. We're happy to see you drawing again. I'm glad you got to pick up the pencil again.
Yeah.
Good draws.
All right. Our next picture up is by I don't know when, I don't care. We made mine and my friend's first MLP OCs. I don't know why I was having so much issue reading it. I tried learning more realistic proportions, but staying in a cartoony style. I posted a very rough sketch of the top images months ago, and I was told to adjust ankles, and so they line up. Did that. Tried a new shading method using transparent dark purple as well. I made some smaller details, and light reflection in the hair gave the fur more texture. Redid the color combo of the two so it was not as bright. Changed the species of alicorn to unicorn and forest. No. Anyway, they keep going over these changes. If you're interested, please read their post. If for whatever reason you're watching this and not the artist, education.
Yeah.
Basically, they followed a few things that were pointed out to them. So this is their revised version. It's cool. It's a heck of a lot of improvement between that bottom and top picture.
Super good.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't use purple on the purple horse.
Just gonna go ahead and stock some of their other posts, see how that progression rolled, because that's always fun to see.
That's what I've been doing this year.
Holy progression, Batman.
Yeah, like all these hoof positions are awesome and cool and good. I just sort of bring this hoof down to here, something like that. So it's a little bit sort of more in line with that. Because if it's like crossing over to this other side to be in line with sort of this other side hoof, I'd expect to be a little bit more like weird twisting in the arm and all that sort of stuff.
So I'm looking at some horses. This bend seems to be a lot closer than what you have here. So this bend seems to have really short, like there's not a lot of distance between the bend and the hoof itself. I'm struggling to sketch it. could make the shoulder come out a bit more.
Man, the people who
Oh,
make
that's
shampoo and conditioner in Ponylands must just make bank.
I mean, yeah, I'd believe that.
Quick observation: the second ear. Both of these horses have lost an ear in the Great War. I think it's time they at least stick a prosthetic over there and regrow it.
Great Pony War.
It was a pillow fight, let's be honest.
The hugging.
I actually put this one just like, ooh, I can't draw. Okay.
Do you notice the purple one's tail? This lovely, lovely tail. Love when artists do that style, especially for unicorns. It seems to fit the sort of characters or the race. I love when they do that. Anyway, I noticed that it sort of curves down and then stops obeying gravity for a moment and then snaps back to reality.
Oop, there goes gravity.
Exactly. Damn it. uh, I think my only suggestion would be bring the fluff of the tail a bit down a bit more and just bunch it up on the ground so it overlaps a bit more, just to keep at the angle that you have with the hooves.
Overlapping stuff is good.
Yeah.
I always like looking at snakes and how they like curl over each other and over themselves and all that sort of stuff. They're always good references for stuff and fabric too. With I'll demonstrate sort of over here. With this specific line of sort of the body, it's always a bit of a tough one to get right. I like to have it kind of go up a little bit more usually, or at least not quite as down, to sort of indicate where the sort of hips are versus the thigh and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, it's just something that looks a little bit interesting to me. That specific point there. Maybe bring that up a little bit or something like that. Or not. I don't know. But in general, these look really good. There's a lot of just little tweaking of things and all that sort of stuff.
It's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, do it. Look how happy she is to be chosen next.
Oh, she's so happy.
This is by Pothic X Addict. MLP, it was a cross post to our subreddit. I don't usually post my art, but I thought y'all like this. They
She's
did
so
get
happy.
Mm.
yeah,
Very
very
beautiful.
stylistic. I'm interested in what's going on here. Like, what part of your style? Okay, green. I see how it is. What part of your
Alright, so I
style
see
decided
those
this one?
gaps everywhere. There would be a shadow, like when there's a drop shadow in the head and
That's what I was
shadows where
thinking,
the
yeah.
legs would be.
Mm.
Like it's consistent, so I don't think.
Yeah, but wouldn't there also be some under the mane too? Then
Well, it seems to be a way to separate the body parts. So, like, the mane is already separated by color.
It's always difficult to give to know what sort type of critique to give to something like this, just because it is so abstract.
Mhm.
So it's hard to tell like what's part of style and what's not part of style and all that kind of thing.
It's definitely
Bit of a
highly stylistic,
contrarian.
and that's not a bad thing. Definitely not a
Yeah.
bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the way it's cut into there is slightly off-putting with just how large the cut-ins are. Because it
I think
almost
it would
makes...
be.
Sorry.
I was thinking like maybe it'd be nice if we saw more of the body to make that, because like I know I like
Yeah.
we came to that conclusion that these are shadows for us, but I feel like if there was more of the body showing or more of those shadows peeking through, like what about where the ears are? There would be some shadow in the ear, right? Or like behind the ear, just like areas of heavy drop shadow, or maybe even it could be an experimental thing. I definitely don't know where I would go with this personally, because I feel like if I were to rely on every hard drop shadow, it means like, well, the hair would get cut to make it, consistent with each other, and like the hair where the I can draw on it. I forgot I have that power. I'm like pointing at the stream. Anyway, like so like here, I'd have like a cutout here, but then would that be too much cuts? Would she look like a slinky by that point? It definitely feels like a balance to be made here. But I think
Interesting Slinky Pie. If you're gonna make any pony a slinky,
yeah, it's fair.
pie is
True.
slinky.
All right, we got any other pieces of comment on this one?
Not that I have. It's very stylistic, very interesting.
Keep messing about, and if you have any stuff that's a little bit less stylized, feel free to chuck it our way. Or if you do have more of
If you
this
have
kind of
specific
stylized
questions,
stuff,
that might also help.
yeah,
Yes.
if you have this sort of stylized kind of stuff, chuck us questions with it, because then we'll have much more useful targeted critique to give you.
Or even, just think of this one. Join us for the stream. Pop in for it and be like, hey dudes, check out this cool horse I drew.
And then ask questions about the said cool horse. Like, check out this cool horse I drew, but I don't know how I want to accomplish XYZ. Those are great. We
Exactly.
love questions.
Good horse.
I made her a slinky, I think. Too many holes.
Alright, next horse up is by Zermagabababa. It's been a while, so here's Ensign Fluttershy. First up, thanks for critiquing other people. I saw like 3 pieces of critique from you this week. Yeah!
Heck yeah.
We love to see it here.
So, found Dr. Tiana's to be harder to draw. It's the cat. But first, it came out decently. Fluttershy's head, on the other hand, feels off. I think I drew her head too tall or small or something along those lines. So this one's actually hard to judge, only because it's sort of the artist, like it's a stylized picture. As we sort of said in the last one, stylizing is sort of hard to go on this one.
I would want to know if you're going more towards realistic or towards cartoony, because what I'm doing right now is making her a bit more cartoony. But if you're going more towards realistic, you might have to go the other in completely other direction than what I'm drawing.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the kind of pose you're doing, definitely you need to keep these sort of shoulders in mind, because they like really pull back pretty significantly. And it's good to sort of tilt her so that this shoulder is sort of pushed away from us and this shoulder is sort of pulled a bit more towards us, which is kind of why this one I've got like a more horizontal and then going down, and this one it's kind of just like more tilted back and then just pushes right behind her kind of thing. Actually, you've got it sort of up here a little bit more, where you've got this kind kind of like a whole lean going through the pose. And that's a pretty important thing that I think kind of gets missed out on when you start getting into the body here. So it's good to keep something like that in mind. Sure, this sort of head tilted down.
Body language is important, but very fun to play with, actually.
Balance
don't be
like
scared of it.
kind of the chest. And then as it goes down here, you've got that. So don't be too scared to really push that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I know it's something where it's like, okay, gosh, I still haven't even learned to draw faces yet, let alone learn to do like facial, like animated facial features that gives us this like language, let alone how to do like body language when I can barely do like anatomy. But you're doing really well, and I think it's a good like next step to think about, because it's honestly not as scary as it seems to look into like facial language and body language, because it really will be a super useful tool in your toolbox to learn. Like everything about art school is just having these little tools to use, these little pieces of experience, and I think expression work and posing is a very, very important one, and it's really fun to learn. Actually, it's not as scary as you might think it might be. But I think I linked a post. It might have been in the resources channel in the MLPDS tutorials, maybe, where it was like a post just on sort of like guarded and anxious body language, which is really interesting. So if you go to our Discord in the tutorials channel, a little short scroll up, I've posted a thing in there. So stuff like that can be really interesting to study.
I think one thing I'm noticing about the cat face, so you have this facial marking here, right? So I'm assuming that maybe like the tip of their muzzle is white. But the issue you have here is drawing the bridge like this makes it go directly in the center of the face. Where when you look at muzzles, they have like a plane, like there's a box, which is why we talk about boxes with ponies and such. I mean, sometimes creatures like cats can have it a little more triangulated to have it skinnier on top and wider at the base. But the thing here is, you have such a prominent line for that color that it's just going right into the middle. And since it's a cat, it'd be more likely to come off from the eye here. So if you would just, put the face in, but then take the marking and follow it through to the center to create it, instead of having the bridge go, directly to the center. Because at most points, like if we take this circle here, there's my center line that I'm choosing. There's that one. We do our basic. I like using a circle for a muzzle, because then I can just use that as the base shape, and I'll stick the eyes on. And the eyes, you'll want to get, since this is curved, they're a little uneven, because we'll see more of a gap than we will see for here. So I just adjust for the slight tilt, and then the muzzle will practically come from that eyelid, so that we have this center line here to make the rest of the muzzle.
Yeah.
And that gives it more 3D shape. It makes it feel less flat, and it gives more form to the face, so it's not just like a glued on triangle to the face, sort of. And that way, like, and you can use your center line then to get that facial marking, like, oh, okay, so I loop it up here, and then it has a longer bridge down to get, the interesting kitty markings.
Yeah. So I think I've talked about this sort of thing before, and how to build facial features one off of the next. Like here's this eye, and then I'm gonna build this off of it, and each thing leads to the next, and it makes everything feel like it's more connected.
I'm just doing a bit of a rough sketch kind of thing down here. I don't know.
It's cute.
Just have him looking sort of off to the sides or something like that, because that kind of feels like the expression might be going for with that sort of language.
Language.
I know. Oh, and given that it's Fluttershy, don't be too scared to just have that this main bit of hair, just like covering up like this whole side of the face.
Yeah, to
That's
sort of make it
pretty-
seem more sort of withdrawn.
That's a pretty common kind of thing for her, trait for her.
So it might make it look a little
Exploit.
bit more recognizable. It's up to you to
Yeah.
experiment, really.
Especially because when you humanize the characters in this kind of way, it's difficult. It can be difficult to sort of tell the difference between Fluttershy's hairstyle and Sunset Shimmer's hairstyle, and having like a feature like that would just push it a little bit more towards Fluttershy. I do like it though. I like this hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's
All right,
a good
shall we
drawing.
move? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do this. Leroy Artsons. All right. Our last picture submitted today is by Embroidered Equations.
Embroidered.
Hell yeah.
They're all the
Yeah. I've never seen legs like this done by you, and they look really cool.
Yeah. I think we say it every single time you send us art, but like
It's
the glow
always
up
new and interesting.
is like the glow up is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You
not,
experiment,
yeah,
and
not
it's
even
paying
just
off.
not even just like how
It's also so
we see you
much
improving, but
cleaner
just
than usual. It looks great. Like it feels more readable. It's not that your other art is bad. That's not what I mean. It's just
no, it's just
more readable than
we're
usual.
always
I
seeing
feel like.
you. Yeah,
We
we're
see a
always
lot of
seeing you like
sketches.
advance and get
Yeah.
sort of cleaner and more more confident in what you're doing. But we also see you just doing so many new things and trying out different like ideas, and it's so creative.
So they were asking about the shading coming from the pocket watch. I have a few questions about that pocket watch. How bright is that light source supposed to be? Because the feeling I'm getting from this is it's like a night light. It's insanely bright for the relative lighting going on around it. Either that or she's in a very dimly lit spot. Just trying to figure out the light, because that does change how this is going to work on the picture. If it's like a dim light, you're only going to get just like a dull glow going on, much less radiant than what you've done. If you're going for, this thing is a spotlight, it's like a night light, it's something very bright that I can use to shine on the ground and find my way in, then booyah, this is making a lot of sense. And we're just going to focus on showing a bit more of the curves along the body with it at that point. So if it appears to be slightly in front of her shoulder, so as though you're holding it, far back on it, sort of striking a pose, but not as far back as placing the object in line with the shoulder. So having the light on the front of the chest makes a lot of sense. And the asparagus head that you've drawn on the neck, I think that's what that is. It's making a lot of sense for how you've cast the light and shadows on there. That's wonderful. But then the hair has fallen quite flat because you've put a whole lot of detail, a whole lot of markings in the hair to sort of show this is a lot of small pieces broken up. It's almost a shame that you've just gone ahead and on the left side of the head just done it flat. Even more so on the right. It looks like someone's going ahead and doing exactly that, where they're just dropping a highlighting mark onto individual elements and fading it out as it goes, because that's going to make this thing pop.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game. So like, I love the detail of the hair, but also be careful. You will not be able to get get a lot out of it when there's so much line art in that hair. You won't be able to play with your shadows like as much as you think you will unless you heavily color and shade that line art. It's all going to be on top of the line art because hair is better to imagine the detail than it is to draw each individual strand. And it's fun to be really complicated.
Mhm.
And I'd say if you were doing this as a flat piece, that makes the hair very interesting. But if you really want to make those lights pop, if you're going to do that much detail, you need to come in like I'm putting these little highlights on it. I'm drawing over top of the line art. There's no way I don't think you're going to be able to accomplish it. I'm not going to say it's impossible because people can always prove me wrong, and I'm happy to be proved wrong. But just there's so much darkness in the line art. You need something to actually be a light, and there's not enough space in the little chunks of hair to get enough light in there to make the difference. So if you're gonna do this hair, don't be afraid to get in there and kind of like, and you don't need to do a lot, just little flecks here or there, because hair, hair is magical and just picks up things. So just fade it out as you go, like Zam was talking about, and just like hit work with the lines you've made. You don't need to create new lines. Just look for bits that hit the light. Get a bump there, a bump here. Just kind of let it grow, and you won't need a lot. Like I think I'd stop even there because I think that's like nice enough to get the idea of like shine.
Mm.
I would I would suggest in terms of the shadows, not so much the shape of the shadows, but the color of the shadows. At least in the white areas, use a more desaturated purple. Because the first time I looked at it, this read to me as markings and not as shadows on the white parts. I thought she had like purple arms. So I would suggest like for the white, like the shading looks great on the purple and on the on the all the like the colored fabric. It looks great there. It's just that white, when you put a multiply layer on white, it just stays the same color. So
Mhm.
you might have to hand pick and play with it on just that area. You can just lock the layer and color on top of it. Sometimes multiply works fine. Sometimes you have to go in and hand color it, which is a pain,
Mm.
but it's worth it in the end. Other than
With
that, I played a bit with the arms because they felt a bit out of proportion. So I moved the elbow a bit more down because this part was a lot shorter than this part. And same over here. So if this is this size, then this would be this size, and then her hand is over here, and she has a tiny arm. So I just moved her elbow a bit further down, and then she can have a bit of a longer arm, more in line with the rest of the body and with this arm over here. That's it.
mm. I like the anatomy and everything. All looks pretty good. I erased the line here just to sort of have the pants feel sort of as one whole thing. With the lighting, um, oh sorry, with the color of sort of this pocket watch, it was kind of blending into her paw a bit. So I just like went over it with a little bit of sort of light bluey colors to just kind of show off that it's a separate object. Uh, it's good to show off a specific color of the light when you have something like this. So, for example, on her shoulder and over here, I sort of added a little bit of just yellow to sort of show off that it's kind of yellow light. Right here in her arm, what I did is I grabbed the sort of general color of her arm there. And then to create the highlight, I sort of pushed the color around the color wheel towards yellow, made it a little bit lighter. And then that's sort of the color that I used for the shadow, or sorry, for the little bit of just like highlight here, because the light would sort of hit there and then bounce off into our eye. And I did a similar kind of a thing up here with this. You've got sort of the shadow color and then the general sort of highlight color, which is definitely a lot more yellow, which is good. But Then I went and pushed that a little bit more towards yellow and just like added a little, just a little third layer on top of that. Yeah. Feel free with the hair, like the little bits of flecks of yellow and stuff that someone has drawn here is super cool. But feel free to also just go the other way and just make the hair simpler and not have as many lines in it, just to sort of match how many lines are sort of in the rest of the picture. And then what you can do is you can just add some like textury sort of stuff. Like I think inside the ear you've got a little bit of like texture stuff going on in there. You can do like a similar kind of thing with the hair and just like try out some different brushes to kind of get some strokes kind of in the direction that your brush is going, and then just do that in sort of the directions that the hair is traveling. Boom. I don't know, something like that. It's just a way to kind of show off the shape and structure of the hair without having quite as many explicitly like dark outlines, since that can kind of break up the look a little bit and look a little bit strange compared to everything else. But yeah, this picture is cool and awesome, and I like it. And good job.
Hmm. I mean, personally, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't erase and redo the hair because I think this is completed line art. But like as a note for next time, I would definitely pull back on that detail of the hair. It's great to get that detail, but save that for when you're shading it, unless this is going to be a flat piece.
Super cool picture.
Yeah.
Awesome job. Yeah. It's crazy looking back to like even looking back to sort of your old Alicon art compared to the stuff you're doing these days. It is awesome. You
It's
are
really,
learning a lot.
yeah, really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Soon he'll send us a thing and we'll be just like, we don't know, you have to give us more specific. We don't know what to do with it. It's too good.
It'll be more like, here are some directions you could possibly take if you want to.
All right. Anyone else have any other art they'd like to fire at us? Any other questions they'd like to ask? Any other cookie recipes they'd like to know about?
I want to know about all the cookie recipes. Please send
Well,
me recipes. I'm staying home for the holidays, so I'm just hoarding them so I can be entertained.
are you just entertained by looking at the recipes or entertained by making?
Well, at the moment I'm just entertained at looking at them because I don't have time to cook. I don't have time for anything. I don't have
Yeah,
time to be here, but I'm here anyway.
that makes sense. Well, I think with this no other art being lobbed at our face at high velocity, we're going to call it a day. So thank y'all for coming, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.